7 brutal Stoic laws that'll kill negative thinking. Rewire your mind with Stoic philosophy. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're diving into a timeless philosophy that forged unbreakable minds. A way of thinking that turned ordinary people into legends, leaders, and warriors of inner peace. This is not about vague motivational quotes. This is about Stoicism, a practical, brutal, and transformative philosophy that has survived for centuries because it works. In a world full of anxiety, negativity, and distraction, Stoicism offers something rare: mental clarity. The ability to stay calm in chaos. The power to rewire your mind and take back control of your inner world. In this video, we'll explore 7 brutal Stoic laws that will kill negative thinking at its root. These principles are not gentle suggestions. They're hard truths. But if you apply them, your mindset will transform. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week, we dive deep into Stoic philosophy, mindset training, and personal power. Joining this community means surrounding yourself with people who refuse to live like victims. Let's begin. 1. Control what you can, release what you can't. The first Stoic law cuts straight to the core of almost every mental struggle. The Stoics divided the world into 2 categories: what's within your control, and what isn't. Everything you worry about, every negative thought, every anxious loop, fits into one of these categories. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that the external world is beyond his command. He could not dictate the weather, the opinions of others, or the twists of fate. But he could always control his response. Most people burn their mental energy trying to control the uncontrollable: other people's behavior, outcomes, the past, the future. This obsession creates endless frustration. The Stoic approach is simple and brutal: stop wasting energy on what you can't command. Instead, channel that power into the only thing that's truly yours: your actions, your thoughts, your character. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm. The winds rage. You can't stop the storm. But you can control how you stand in it. You can plant your feet, breathe, and act with strength. Once this principle becomes second nature, negative thinking loses its grip. You stop fighting shadows. You become focused, calm, and powerful. 2. Perception is everything. Events themselves are neutral. It's the story you tell yourself about them that creates suffering. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This wasn't a motivational slogan. It was a command. The Stoics trained their minds to separate raw facts from emotional interpretation. When something unexpected happens, losing a job, facing criticism, missing an opportunity, most people immediately assign a negative meaning. This is terrible. I'm doomed. Everything's ruined. The event becomes loaded with judgment, and negative thinking takes control. The Stoics refused to give events that power. They would pause, strip away emotion, examine what actually happened. A job was lost. Fact. A person said something. Fact. The rest is your interpretation. When you practice this, your inner world stabilizes. You stop being tossed around by every external wave. You become the observer, not the victim. This doesn't mean suppressing emotion. It means mastering the lens through which you see reality. Once perception is under your control, almost nothing can shake your peace. 3. Embrace discomfort. Modern life trains us to avoid pain at all costs. We chase comfort, convenience, and instant gratification. But the Stoics understood something deeper. Comfort is not your friend. It can make you weak. Seneca warned that luxury softens the mind. He believed a person who never faces discomfort becomes fragile, emotionally and mentally. That's why Stoics voluntarily embraced hardship. They practiced sleeping on the floor, walking in the cold, fasting, enduring silence, and imagining worst-case scenarios, not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they wanted to build resilience. Discomfort sharpens the mind. When you willingly step into difficult situations, you prove to yourself that fear is just a signal, not a wall. Negative thinking thrives in soft spaces. When everything is comfortable, the mind gets restless. It invents problems. It obsesses over little things. But when you embrace discomfort intentionally, you take control back. Think of it like training in the gym. If you only lift light weights, you'll never grow. If you only live in ease, your mind never hardens. Stoicism invites you to choose discomfort daily, not recklessly, but deliberately. Take the cold shower. Have the hard conversation. Wake up earlier. Face the thing you fear. When you stop running from discomfort, negative thoughts lose their anchor. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start saying, "I'm ready for this." 4. Memento mori. Remember death. To most people, thinking about death is frightening. But for the Stoics, it was liberating. Memento mori means, remember that you will die. Far from being dark, this reflection is a call to live fully and clearly. Marcus Aurelius meditated daily on mortality. He reminded himself that every breath could be his last, not to be morbid, but to strip away illusions. When you remember that your time is limited, negative thinking starts to look absurd. Worrying endlessly about petty problems, holding grudges, complaining about things you can't change. When measured against the brief span of life, they shrink into nothing. Reflecting on death focuses the mind like nothing else. It forces you to prioritize what matters. It makes you grateful for the present moment. Seneca wrote that people fear death not because it's painful, but because they waste life. They live distracted, as if they have infinite tomorrows. Stoicism flips that script. It urges you to live now, speak the truth. Forgive quickly. Act with purpose. Memento mori kills negative thinking because it exposes its smallness. When you truly grasp that life is finite, you stop letting meaningless worries dominate your thoughts. 5. Live in accordance with nature. For the Stoics, nature wasn't just trees, rivers, and sky. It was the universal order, the flow of life, the way things are. Living in accordance with nature meant aligning your thoughts and actions with reality, not fighting against it. Most negative thinking comes from resistance. We wish things were different. We cling to what's gone. We fight against what is, but Stoicism teaches that peace comes when we accept the natural flow, change, impermanence, other people's nature, and the unfolding of events. Marcus Aurelius wrote that if something is part of the nature of the universe, it cannot be evil. The problem is not the event, but our refusal to accept it. Living in accordance with nature means understanding that everything changes. Seasons shift, people grow, circumstances evolve. The Stoic learns to flow like water, adapting to each moment with grace. When you stop resisting, negative thinking loses its fuel. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It means you use your energy wisely, acting where you can, flowing where you must. This law turns chaos into clarity. You stop being the person yelling at the storm. You become the sailor adjusting the sails. 6. Practice self-discipline relentlessly. Stoicism isn't about endless thinking. It's about living with intention. And nothing embodies that more than self-discipline. Epictetus said that no person is truly free unless they've mastered themselves. Self-discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Without it, philosophy is just theory. The Stoics trained their minds and bodies like athletes. They practiced moderation, consistency, and inner strength. Discipline was their weapon against chaos. Negative thinking thrives in disorder. When your days are aimless, your thoughts wander. When your actions lack structure, doubt creeps in. But when you build disciplined habits, waking up with purpose, managing your time, keeping your word, you anchor your mind. Self-discipline doesn't mean being harsh. It means being so committed to your growth that you no longer let impulses dictate your direction. Start small. Keep promises to yourself. Build routines that sharpen your mind. Over time, discipline becomes your identity. And when that happens, negative thinking has nowhere to hide. 7. Focus on virtue above all else. There is a moment in every person's life when they realize that chasing pleasure, chasing status, chasing approval will never give them the peace they crave. The Stoics reached this realization centuries ago. They understood that external rewards are unstable. They rise and fall, appear and disappear. But there's one thing no one can take from you: your character. To the Stoics, virtue was not a vague ideal. It was the highest good, the ultimate standard by which to live. Virtue meant courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance. It meant acting with integrity even when no one is watching. It meant building an unshakable core that does not depend on whether life is kind or cruel. When your focus is virtue, negative thinking loses its grip. Why? Because your mind stops depending on outcomes you can't control. You stop asking, "What will they think of me?" and start asking, "What's the right thing to do here?" You stop worrying about the chaos around you and start commanding the only thing that truly belongs to you: your moral compass. Virtue makes you untouchable. Praise won't make you arrogant. Criticism won't break you. Pleasure won't corrupt you. Pain won't crush you. You will become someone who stands firm no matter what happens. When you wake up and anchor your day in virtue, every decision becomes clearer. Every action has weight. Negative thoughts that used to pull you into doubt now sound like background noise. They have no authority because your purpose is louder than your fear. The Stoics believed that if you live with virtue, you are already winning, even if the world misunderstands you. Even if things don't go your way, Because virtue is the one thing that doesn't depend on fortune. It's yours. It's your power. It's the foundation of inner freedom. Take a moment. Think about everything you just heard. Control what's yours. Release what isn't. Master perception so nothing can shake your inner world. Embrace discomfort instead of hiding from it. Remember that your time is limited, and use that knowledge to live fully. Align yourself with nature rather than fighting reality. Build unbreakable discipline so you're led by purpose, not impulse. And above all, focus on virtue, the one thing that no one can take from you. These aren't soft suggestions, they're hard laws. If you live by them, you will feel the difference. Your thoughts will sharpen, your emotions will steady, your resilience will grow. The mind is like a battlefield. Negative thinking doesn't disappear on its own. It retreats when you confront it with strength. The Stoics didn't wait for the world to become easier. They forged themselves into the kind of people who could walk through any storm. Now it's your turn. Start small. Apply one law today. Don't wait for perfect timing. Growth happens in motion. The moment you act on these principles, you separate yourself from the masses. You begin the process of rewiring your mind from the inside out. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel right now. Join a community that refuses to be controlled by fear, doubt, or negativity. Every week we dive deep into ancient wisdom and modern mindset training designed to help you build a stronger, clearer, more unshakable life. This is your time to rise. Don't just think about it, live it.